The oceans and seas of our planet cover 71% of the Earth's surface. We know little to nothing about what lies beneath. This is why I have created, in 2013, the Ocean 71 digital magazine. We aim to combine exploration and investigation with digital technology to bring our subscribers tales from beneath the surface. To achieve this, we have converted a 12-meter yacht to a floating newsroom equipped with all the modcons to work in a digital era. Ocean 71 is made up of a team of journalists, sailors, divers and specialists. Our mission is to go where few have gone before and to return with unique images and information. A year after our last visit to Albania, the Swiss and Albanian archaeologists are about to begin their excavations of the ancient city of Oricum. In 49 BC, in the midst of the Roman Civil War, this strategic port was pivotal to the course of history and the destiny of Julius Caesar. 2052 years later, modern Europe is plunged into an economic crisis, and the excavation of this ancient city is not high on priority lists for funding. As a result, the archaeologists are operating on a shoestring and have been forced to limit their dig to just 2 months. The pressure is on. Every second counts. The historic and archaeological importance of this site is in no way proportionate to the lack of funding. It is a huge find, and any archaeologist's dream having been frozen in time in Albania. A virgin site is absolutely unheard of these days. You wouldn't find one in Greece or Italy anymore. Oricum is very unique in the fact that we have a blank canvas to fill. We feel a bit like the pioneering archaeologists of the 18th and 19th century. It is a challenge, a very attractive one. To better understand the dig site, we needed to get a bird's eye view, so we climbed Karaburun, not an easy task given the absence of roads or even footpath. The locals used mules to guide them through the dense and wild bush. We decided to go on foot. At the top, the view down into the bay was superb. We could see the layout of the ancient city perfectly. Oricum was starting to reveal her secrets. During our initial research, we discovered that Oricum was a medium-sized harbor, but that the city, the port, the necropolis and the quarry were spread over tens of kilometers. The archaeologists had some choices to make. One of the areas that captured their attention is right at the top of the hill that housed the city. Veiled by the long grass, at the very summit on a level area, sheltered from the wind, are the ruins of what appears to be an important building. This theory was confirmed by initial forays in 2008-2009. On the south side, we stumbled upon the remains of a very high-quality building. The stonework was very impressive, each stone was very precisely shaped, and there was a notable Greek architectural influence that dated back to the 4th century, or certainly the Hellenistic period. By excavating it, the archaeologists hope to discover the role it played in Oricos. A few hundred meters down the hill is a monument. Discovered during the communist era, it was declared a theater, but the feeling is that this conclusion was too hasty. We are redoing the excavation of Oricos' most representative monument that up until now has been known as the theater. It was first excavated in 1958 by an Albanian and Russian team and has remained untouched since then. You can see right away that the excavation is incomplete because on the north side, the corridor serving the theater has not been revealed. We also know that there have been several phases of construction in this area, but we do not know exactly what relates to what.
mais on savait pas trop quoi ça correspondait à quoi.
For all these reasons, and because we seriously doubt that this monument is a theater, we are going to excavate this area as well. Initial research last year also revealed enormous ancient stone blocks beneath the undergrowth that appear to belong to the one-time city wall. In 2009, on the northeast slope, we discovered a section of extremely well-preserved wall. 6 well-cut blocks were still in place, leading us to believe that this was a fortified wall from the ancient Greek period. We were able to date the construction to between 120 and 100 BC. Here was a building that was worth exploring further. At the edge of the lagoon, other stone blocks poke up out of the water at 90-degree angles to the city. The team of archaeologists hopes to discover whether or not this is one of the harbor keys that Julius Caesar mentions several times in his records. The final element that the Swiss and Albanian team plans to excavate is the necropolis, which has already been pillaged. We know of the necropolis because of the tomb raiding that has occurred, and also because some excavation was done in the 90s. This year, the Forel Institute team, led by Jocelyne Desideri, checked the geomagnetic survey that was done in 2008-2009. One of the mission's goals is to check whether or not the geomagnetic anomalies would link to the remaining tombs. Using the survey, we targeted 1 or 2 locations to excavate in order to assess whether there really was a tomb, whether geologists placed one. We have to remember that tombs are built of brick and large tiles. This is the first goal. The second one is to document the raided tombs, because we can still get information. These 5 archaeological digs represent only a fraction of the Oricum site, but they will reveal some of the secrets of this unique place. While the archaeology team was busy setting up, we grabbed the opportunity to go and see the artifacts that were discovered during the very first excavations in the 50s by the Soviets. Jonata Consagra directed us to a small museum in Vlora, about 15 kilometers north of Oricum, that housed part of the collection. 30 minutes up the coast and we reached the region's main town. With its large avenues and its towering concrete apartment blocks, Vlora is a sad example of the anarchy within the construction business and the ugly developments that have sprung up along the coast. We eventually found our way through the concrete jungle to the little museum. The curator warned us that the artifacts were ancient and let us have a look around. Budget doesn't stretch protective glass cabinets. Statues, amphorae, pottery of all kinds and tombstones are laid out on the floor. In a corner, we discovered some of the objects from the Oricum site. 3 small vases, a cup, a spare tip, and 2 tombstones. Very little compared to what still remains buried today. We learned from the curator that a few years ago, the museum owned a coin that was clearly engraved with the name Oricum, that is, Oricum. The coin proves an important fact that despite its modest size, the city of Oricum had its own mint. Back at the dig site, the team's first foray into the soil has revealed dozens of fragments of terracotta just a few centimeters beneath the surface. Despite appearances, these broken bits of pottery provide the archaeologists with the best possible clues to put a timeline to their path through history.
La céramique, tout simplement, a l'avantage d'avoir une...
Pottery has the advantage of having a very short lifespan.
Un pot se casse, normalement,
A pot usually breaks within a couple of years of being made, unlike a coin that can be in circulation for generations and has the disadvantage of being made of a precious metal, which means it is often melted down and recycled. Once pottery is broken, it is useless, but eternal. It can survive for thousands of years, and as it is in constant production by different workshops, a signature develops that allow us to date it very precisely. For example, if you look at the cups and plates that your grandmother owned and compare them to your own, you will see a real difference. In 1 or 2 generations, the shapes change, and this was no different in ancient times. Then we have the different material that allow us to identify the workshops. These are important information to date back the trades and the economical life. Through systematic excavation, the terracotta remains will allow the archaeologists to go back through time. Starting from the deepest remains, we will discover when the buildings were constructed, when they were inhabited, abandoned, and finally when they were destroyed, all with an accuracy that beggars belief. An archaeologist's work is painstaking. The team will patiently collect thousands of pieces of a life-size puzzle, and each clue will help us to unravel and better understand history. Somewhere, still buried in the earth, we might find the link that connects the stories recorded by Julius Caesar with the facts. Our investigation begins now. Team of journalists, sailors, divers and specialists. Our mission is to go where few have gone before and to return with unique images and information. The oceans and seas of our planet cover 71% of the Earth's surface. We know little to nothing about what lies beneath. This is why I have created in 2013 the Ocean 71 digital magazine. We aim to combine exploration and investigation with digital technology to bring our subscribers tales from beneath the surface. To achieve this, we have converted a 12-meter yacht to a floating newsroom equipped with all the modcons to work in a digital era. Ocean 71 is made up of a